seeming to pull out all of the stops. Today, Tara Joyce, Abe, Abraham of the Hampstead case left a disparaging remark about me, and so Tara had to share it. It is my contention that the only honest players in that situation were the kids. Everyone else, it's like it always is. Everyone else were the bad guys. And um, do you know how you can tell that the shit in Hampstead, the people that are involved, aren't real? Because there's an easy way to tell. If I had kids that I was fighting for, and people did not believe me when I told them about the situations that were going on with my kids, and I needed people to believe me, my question is, why have Abraham and those kids' mom never hooked up with Shirley Oaks? Shirley Oaks is a group home that the Catholic Church was involved with, and there's what, 3, 4, 500 survivors of this shit. It would be an easy way to prove that this shit was happening to help your kids, but none of that has ever happened. Hey, cognitive. None of that has ever happened. And so you have to ask yourself, why? Wouldn't you do anything you could to help your kids? So Shirley Oaks has, again, 3, 4, 500 survivors, hey, that are all together. They've banded together and are supporting each other and helping each other. And hey everyone. So why? That's how you can tell that they're not real. Because, like Tara Joyce, they will take you down every rabbit hole but the real ones. And yeah, the level of denial in public is mind numbing, and that's exactly what cognitive dissonance is. They just don't want it to be true, so they tell themselves it's not true. Hey, Sherilyn. They just tell themselves that it's not true. And then they can just look away. And they don't like it because I won't look away. They, by the way, they are blasting the fuck out of me with their toys. Just, it's awful. But I don't tell people, oh, they're going to kill me soon, because I started that years and years ago, especially when all this shit got real in Washington. And I'm way more than a pebble in their shoe. They don't seem to like me at all. They just don't seem to like me at all. It's funny because I right before I came on here, I just checked mentions. I didn't look into them. I just checked on them, and Geo Farnsworth has left a video, and I never watch his videos because I just don't care. But I just checked, and he looks crazed. It's like they're pulling out all the stops. Tara Joyce is bringing up Abraham of the Hampstead case. And yeah, I helped out until I realized that it was all a sham. It was all fake. And I called it out, just like I always do, you know? Oh, I don't really want to refer to myself as a turd. That's the funny thing is, one of the things that Abraham said about me in that thing that Tara Joyce posted was I guess I'm self-loathing. You know, I guess I loathe myself. how can they claim that I'm narcissistic and that I'm self-loathing at the same time? You know, I don't think they understand how language works. I obviously, you know, but things that they do, I would never think about doing because they just don't seem to be. Oh, I know. It's we just got hit with multiple X flares yesterday. The sun is going spastic. It's going crazy. That's why the oceans are so freaking hot, you know? And those hot oceans are gonna fuel the hurricanes. It's gonna fuel the hurricanes. It's gonna make them stronger. Yeah. That's I talk about this shit on the phone sometimes to certain people because I know they listen to my shit just to see what they will do. And I was just talking about to someone saying, oh, they woke me up at 3 o'clock and I had a migraine. I had a headache, but I was able to just compartmentalize it and go back to sleep. They just don't get it. I had to make them rise up and strike me down. And the reason why they've tried repeatedly and failed repeatedly is because heaven wanted to make there have no doubt about the intent. No doubt about the intent. Them trying to take me out once, that could be a knee-jerk reaction. Two could be, kind of a knee-jerk reaction. But they have done it over and over and over and over. Not to mention their shit. They're not in control of these hurricanes. They're not. They can influence the weather, but they can't control it. That's the whole thing. Yeah, they can do shit, but they can't control what's happening. And the fact that we are being inundated with X flares, like the likes of which we've never seen, and our magnetic field around the planet is at as super low because the poles are getting ready to reverse, and so we are being inundated with heat and gamma radiation. That's what's causing it. They're not in control. They're not causing shit. It's out of their control. That's why they're running around like dumbasses, and they all are. Every single one. Look at all of the world's leaders. Look at all these people that have been in control and now they're having to work for it because they don't have the help that they had before. Thank you. I will keep spreading the message. They don't have control anymore. It's all in God's hands. And unfortunately, what we are going to see is the hand of God. And that's never a pretty thing. And we're going to start seeing more and more of it. And there's no way around it. They are so hard trying to blast. They just don't realize that what is done is done. I am so excited about it. I am so excited about it. I have a friend of mine who just laughs all the time because they say, when you start talking about the end of the world and all the stuff that you're coming on, they're like, it's like it makes you happy. And it does. It makes me happy because heaven is finally answering its promises. We're finally seeing the promises of heaven be fulfilled. And what's at the very end of this is a new beginning that for the faithful who follow and honor and do everything they can to live the word, the next time around is like a utopia that you can't even fathom right now. As bad as the darkness is that they can't fathom, what's ahead for the faithful, none of you can even conceptualize, because people in the new garden will breathe in joy with every breath. And that was the thing that I wanted. I wanted children and the innocent to be safe from these dickheads. That's all I've ever wanted. In a nutshell, that is all I ever wanted. That's why I got involved with this. My contention when I went to the Fallen was that, first of all, their sacrifices were empty. They didn't even know most of the time who was even on the altar. And they just did what they fucking enjoyed. There was no sacrifice to any of it. And as such, my contention was they wouldn't honor, when push came to shove, they wouldn't honor what they promised. And not only would they not honor their promises, they would betray them. They would go out of their way to betray them. That's the argument I took to heaven. And so that's why heaven was just like, okay, prove it. Because they made all kinds of fucking promises to me as a child. Now, granted, it wasn't meant for me, but the devil's in the details. It was meant for what was supposed to take over me, but that didn't transpire. Not the way they wanted it to. And so that's why I had to get them to rise up and strike me down. And they have. Just in the last 9 months, all of you have been able to see, because I've done constant videos about the whole thing. I've shown on videos exactly what they do, because they did it to me. What they did to me, they did to Isaac, and to that vegan Mikey, and to Nathan Stoltman. And the list goes on and on and on. The game is always the same. But what they don't like is that I called them out on it. I'm calling them out. Because this is all about them trying to protect and defend their child trafficking bullshit. And no, I don't care. They can torture me for the next million years. I will never be silent about that, because being silent and doing nothing, I feel, makes me complicit. And I don't want to be complicit in that, you know? And so you have to take a stand. No matter the cost, you have to take a stand. They do see the writing on the wall, but I don't, again, they have their own cognitive dissonance. You're talking about a group who has spent their entire time in their little bubble all together, telling themselves how powerful they are, that they're gods, they're in complete control. They have all of the authority and all of the control. And they've told themselves that, and been in a group that assured themselves that was true their whole lives. They don't know anything else. And so are they going to wake up? Chances are, my guess is no. There's not enough time. There's just not enough time. Maybe one or two of them, but so many more get claimed by the dark than find themselves to the gates of the new earth. You know, it's a 6-lane highway into the dark. And it's a path up the fucking mountains to the new garden. Lots of testing, and it's difficult. It's difficult. But all of this is, they're just trying to defend their child trafficking. That's what they're trying to do. Hampstead, that whole case, funny enough, the reason why they don't talk about Shirley Oaks, that's the reason why I left the Hampstead case. Because the Hampstead case was the UK's version of the McMartin case in the United States. Same thing. And the reason why the Hampstead case took place, because they had to control the narrative of that specific type of abuse. Because everything was coming out. Their old politicians were getting busted. Jimmy Savile got busted. It was all, and Shirley Oaks was becoming a thing even then. And they needed to control the narrative. And it's interesting how Tara Joyce is going to run with that now, too. Do you have. If, I just didn't realize how entwined Tara Joyce was. Because contrary to what they believe, I tried very hard not to think about them for a long time. Because they're just vile. Every fucking one of them is vile. They do ugly, hateful shit and then tell themselves how powerful they are because they're doing all of this hateful, awful shit. And I've never been interested in those kind of people. So I kind of stayed away. But now they did their best to isolate me because not only I was helping take care of a woman who was high-end autistic. We were great friends. And now that's over. They put her in a home. And it's, they've gone out of their way. And they do it. There's a whole army of them working at it. And I'm not the only one who's gone through shit like this. There's a lot of people who have gone through this shit. This is everything I'm talking about is old news. So now the conversation just disappeared. I wonder if I'm even on. Okay, well, since the conversation is gone and I haven't seen anybody respond, I'm going to stop this for right now because it's freaking hot where I'm sitting. I got to get out of the sun. So I'll come back on later.